Good evening. We're going to talk about commanding respect and why true leaders choose kindness over being everyone's friend. Now, why is this important? I just want to give you that you want to watch this today when you're ready to elevate your authenticity and to discover the power of really genuine leadership, moving beyond the surface level likability so that you can forge deeper connections and command the respect of your team, your peers, and your superiors. Because there's nothing worse than being a woman in leadership that is being overlooked, or maybe you find yourself you're being the idea generator for your boss, yet they make more money than you and you're not being recognized for your contributions. And you might, or I should say not and, or you might have the experience where you're being almost seen as, well, you're too likable or too soft. So you're not really the right leadership material to advance to the next level in your career. We're going to dive deep in that today. I'm going to take you and give you actionable steps that you can do today that is actually going to increase your ability to command the respect that you deserve and that you desire so that you can reach those goals and make sure that you're leading in a highly effective and high performing team, as well as getting that recognition and those opportunities for that next level position. All right, let's dive into it today. And if you're just watching me for the first time and you want to just hit the follow button, as always, you can comment below with any questions or DM me. I've made an incredibly safe space in my DMs because I know it can be quite difficult to reach out for help or support, or you're like, ooh, I really don't want everyone else seeing that I like this material or that I needed this training today. So reach out to me in my DMs, just slide in there. I have conversations with women leaders every week about how to support them and what is going on in the challenges that they're facing. So again, slide into my DMs if you want to know more. Now, let's get into today's topic. So are you ever feeling like you're being caught in that crossfire between wanting to be liked and being respected? Because oftentimes what in the conversations that I have with my clients, we have mixed up, or they have mixed up, and maybe you have done the same, is that, well, if my team likes me, if my team gives me a good score on my employee engagement surveys, right? Because those are always good, important metrics as part of your KPIs and your performance reviews. And if I have that, if they like me, if we get along, then they will respect me and I can be more effective. And really, from the earliest moments and earliest memories we have as women, we've often been told to play nice, to fit in, don't stir the pot. Remember wanting to be everyone's favorite in school. But here's the glitch. It's like when we're in the corporate world, being everyone's favorite, being liked isn't the winning move. So I want to break it down just a minute here in terms of what is nice and what is kindness. So if you're being nice, it's all about avoiding conflict. Think about all those times that you said yes when you really wanted to say no, just to keep the peace. Or when you've hesitated to give constructive feedback, fearing you might upset someone. It's like adding a filter to your words and your actions just to fit into the mold. And nice often tiptoes around the truth. Think of those times where you swallowed your words to avoid rocking the boat, or you hesitated to give straight talk feedback because you didn't want to ruffle feathers, or you didn't want to run the risk of one of your employees or your team members being upset and possibly even just leaving, going to a new job. So it's like constantly being on mute when you are wanting to be nice within your leadership role. Now, kindness and being kind, on the other hand, is genuine. It's about looking towards the greater good. A kind leader gives feedback because she sees the potential and wants her team to grow, even if it's hard. Kindness is when you make the tough decisions for the company's future, even when it's unpopular. It's raw, it's real, and at times very challenging. Now, remember, we started this off again saying that a lot of women leaders that I've worked with are confusing being liked with being respected and being effective. And when we look at the difference between nice and kindness, there is a very clear difference, because while we all have grown up being told that we need to be play nice, we need to fit in, we don't want to stir the pot, there is a disconnect here, because when you're being wanting to be liked, imagine if your leadership was like parenting. So you have the nice parent who might want to avoid the bedtime battles and lets the kids binge on TV, but the kind parent is the one that's going to enforce the bedtime, knowing that the rest is key to the next day's adventures and a good day the next day. So when you're looking at this perspective, like, well, I should still be a team player, I need to be nice in order to gain the respect, remember that nice, you might avoid the struggle or the conflict right now, but in the long term, you're going to suffer from that. Whereas if you're really leading from a place of kindness and authenticities, you are going to enforce the boundaries. You're going to make sure that the long-term objectives are just as important and managed in the short term as in dealing in the long term. Now, if you're in your pursuit of being liked, and if you're donning that nice hat too often, you might find it challenging to earn the respect you deserve. But guiding with kindness and clarity and emotional intelligence, that is going to be your ticket to genuine leadership respect. Now, within the leadership edge formula and the strategic influence pillar, I unravel this with my clients. We master the art of setting clear expectations, eliminating the fluff, speaking our truth, and resonating with everyone we address. It's about ensuring that your leadership voice is heard and felt. So let's dig deeper into that strategic influence pillar, because this is where the magic happens for transformative leaders just like you. Now, I'm just going to, before I dive into that, because I really do want to dive into it, let's just check out, if you've got any questions, drop them into the comments, drop them and just let me know what you've got. If this is resonating, drop me an emoji. And again, if it does not feel comfortable because you don't want your colleagues, your boss, your neighbor to know that you're actually watching and listening this training today, then just drop me a DM, because again, it's a safe space for women in leadership who have got these challenges you might be a little embarrassed or a lot embarrassed to actually admit that you have, considering you've gotten so far in your career, like, well, how have I not figured this out just yet? So my inbox is always a safe space. Just drop into my inbox and ask your questions there. All right, so let's dive into that strategic influence pillar. And we're going to start with the first one. So setting clear expectations. Now, you want to start every project, meeting, or interaction with clarity. Ask yourself, what do I want my team or my client or my superiors or my colleagues to take away from this meeting, project, interaction? And be explicit about the deliverables, the deadlines, and the quality of work that you expect. It's not about micromanaging. Micromanaging looks different, but about giving everyone that is there a clear map to success. For instance, instead of saying, I need that report soon, specify and say, I need that report by 3 p.m. tomorrow, ensuring that you've included the latest sales data. Being precise cuts down on the ambiguity. It's also going to cut down on all the questions and frustrations on your end when something doesn't meet your expectations, because you've been clear up front, and it boosts the productivity of both yourself as well as your team. Second, limiting the fluff. In your communications, avoid beating around the bush. Trim the excess. For example, rather than a long-winded explanation about why a project is important, get straight to its impact. This project can elevate our brand by 40%. Be concise is not about, being concise is not about being curt or, cutting people off. It's about valuing everyone else's time. And I just want to highlight this, because I had this conversation with one of my clients this week, is we tend to communicate and, we've been told stories are a great way to communicate. Except we include so much information, you're better off just really eliminating everything and just go, okay, this is what I need. This is the intent. This is why it's important. And then if there's more context or information and explanation needed, to allow that to come out through the questions that they can ask you. Because oftentimes you're providing all this excess content and all these extra stories around and information in a way to justify your request or to feel for you to feel better about what you're asking. And that's really, if we're getting down to the brass tacks of it, that's just being really selfish with both your time as well as the other person's time. And there's no need for you and your role to justify all of your requests, but you can provide the reasons why something is important. And again, allow the other person to ask you questions. Now, number 3, speaking your truth. Now, this does not mean bluntly saying whatever comes to mind, okay? There still should be a filter. You should still be concentrating on how do I get my message across most effectively. But it is about being authentic and aligning your words with your beliefs and your values. So if something feels off in a project, you voice it. It's like, oh, you know what? This project isn't running because the communication lines are not clear. The expectations of what is needed by when are not clear, for example. And also, if someone's work impresses you, acknowledge it. Don't overuse this, right? So I don't want you to go, oh, hey, everyone did a great job all the time. You do want to recognize when good work has been completed. And by being authentic and speaking your truth, it's going to build trust within your team, within your colleagues, as well as your superiors. And lastly, resonating communication. So understand your audience. Whether you're addressing a junior employee, a peer, or even a board of directors, the essence of your message remains the same, but the delivery might change. So for someone who is visual, paint a picture with your words. For the analytical mind, you want to back up your statements with data. And always ensure that your body language aligns with your message. It's not just about being heard, it's about being understood. So, to summarize, 5 different strategies, right? Set clear expectations, eliminate the fluff, speak your truth, and resonating communications. Okay, I gave you a bonus. There's only 4 this morning. Excuse me. All right, so those 4 are going to help you not just communicate, but also make a statement about you and about your leadership ability. You're ensuring that your leadership voice is not only heard, but felt and respected. It paves the way for your leadership that's not just about being in charge, but also about making an impactful change, about being building those relationships and building that trust within your team, within your colleagues, as well as within your superiors. So now here's the all-important question. Are you going to continue seeking those fleeting nods, or do you want deep-rooted respect? Do you want to be liked and overlooked, or are you ready to be the sought-after leader in your organization and in your industry? And are you ready to transition from the superficial niceties to leadership that's infused with genuine kindness and direction? Now, if this sounds like you, and I know there's a number of women out there, and maybe if you're a man listening to this, you have colleagues or even your partners would be really great for this, then I want you to, I want you to send me a message. Check out what today's message, what we've talked about today, implement 1 or 2 of those, and let me know in the comments or in the DMs how it's been going. And if you are ready for that next level to really drive your leadership in an authentic way and becoming much more powerful within your communication, in driving and commanding that respect that you desire within your organization and your industry, then DM me Elevate. So the word elevate, DM me Elevate, and we're going to start having a conversation about why how you can become that true leader that chooses kindness over being everyone's friend. Because let's be honest, being everyone's friend isn't how you get to become that truly powerful and vibrant leader that I know you can be. Now, I loved sharing this today with you. There are a few more spots open for one-on-one coaching. So if you are ready to get your spot and you really want dedicated focus and support for the next 6 months, then let me know. Drop me a you can drop me a comment or drop me a DM. Again, safe space in my inbox for you when you're looking for support. And if this topic today resonated, I would love to hear any of your questions as well as comments, because also that happens in my inbox as well. I wish you a fantastic day, and I will talk